Hello, folks, and welcome to Fey Earth. My name is Neil, my pronouns are he, him, and I am the creator of this indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. Unfortunately, as you can see from our overlay, we are down two players tonight, Mina and Tendai, who are not feeling well, but hopefully they should be back with us very soon. But we still have our three other fabulous players with us tonight. Um, I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to let one of my players talk and give us a recap of our last session. So, who would like to do so?
Annalise, you might need
trying to
inspiration
remember what happened.
because I already have one.
I remember the end so vividly more than anything else because that blasted my brain open. What happened? What did we do? That was okay. So we opened up with, was this just after? Yeah, we went to go to Madame Gautier.
Yes, you did.
So,
yes.
Yeah, we went to Madame Gautier.
Exactly. The group had investigated the warehouse, decided to take a trip to the esteemed home of one Madame Gautier to find out what on earth had happened to all of Monclerc's various devices of evil. To discover Madame Gautier reclining pleasurably in her lounge, and upon entry immediately offers the Book of Shadows to Justine, and after some slightly suspicious grilling from the group, explained that she intended to study Monclerc's devices, work out how they worked, use them for, at first, the good of the aristocrats to gain funding, to eventually fund a much bigger, more affordable public works for those who are in need of non-augmentative prostheses. The group generally seemed to take this on well, with some newly garnered suspicion. From there, we went on to a little bit of, I think it was there that Justine started digging a little bit into, I'm forgetting his name. Tito, of course, yes. A little bit more about his interesting world-traveled persona that has no relation to any particular ancient cultures. Who knows? Who knows? He doesn't. He talks about Centurion stuff just because it's an interest. He's traveled. He knows his stuff. He speaks like a native French person. From there, we went on to Sylvia. Sylvia, was that where you went out to get your dress, I believe?
Yes.
That next morning, yes, Sylvia went out to a clothier and went in with an expectation of going, I would like a fancy dress. And then they went, we shall give you a fancy dress with several hours of proceedings, which took place and was surprisingly lovely. I think that the clerk was very sweet, and perhaps it was a little embarrassing in a way, but the dress has been ordered and needed a significant rush job at significant expense, but was worthwhile, I'm sure. Annalise went to a gun store to get some new magic ammo and got patronized, but that's par for the course. I believe, Justine, what did you get up to? Did you get moving at all there?
No, we went with Sylvia.
No, Justine was with Sylvia at the dress shop.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which I believe
I got
then
the letter from my brother.
You did get the letter from a lovely letter from your brother, correct? And I believe also, Sylvia, you got a letter from your follow-up letter from your brother as well, right?
I did.
Yes, having received the second "we were not killed by a vampire" message.
I feel like I'm just like, oh, this is a crisis, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's okay. Here's another crisis.
I'll send you about a new crisis next week.
God.
And then I believe that leads us to one Aminata deciding to visit the once estate of the ex-baron, discovering, surprisingly, it being having its items taken out of it at the overseeing by a beautiful porcelain skin, black-haired, incredibly elegant looking woman wielding a lace black parasol, who very astutely spied Aminata watching, and as Aminata passed by, seemed to try and inflict her with some sort of mystic effect. I believe that's about where we're at. After Aminata used some incredible supporting ability to manage to fend that off, we presume. And I believe that's where we are.
Excellent. So that is 1d8 inspiration die that you will have that you can use once for any ability test during the game. So we are continuing where we left off, which was Aminata feeling a pressure on her skull, on her brain, as if something was trying to intrude. So seeing that this lady, and she is very much dressed as a highborn lady, is looking quite not just intently but intensely at her as she is feeling this. She's like quite reasonably suspecting she is the cause of this strange feeling. She waits just a moment until the busy worker bees surrounding her, some men pass between her and this lady, breaking their visual contact for a brief moment, as she then goes to slip on her ring, her legendary ring of invisibility. Seven. Okay. Oh. She does have stealth, so that's 10, 12. So she puts on the ring, turning invisible. And apologies to our viewers. I just need to check something.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
She turns invisible and watches, pausing for a moment, as she sees silvery light flash across the eyes of this beautiful woman who is looking at her, as she casts True Sight, staring directly at Aminata, and she smiles and turns back to directing the laborers. Aminata, feeling quite unnerved by this, not sure which was more terrifying, that this woman clearly is gifted in sorcery, or that smile she gave her when she broke her invisibility, very quickly retreats.
My eye is twitching, and I'm not even joking.
So yes.
No good. Just bad. Just bad. It's a bad situation. It's bad.
So
back away, not today, disco lady.
So yeah, that's what happens. She leaves. She gets out of there as quickly as she can, and after she's a couple of blocks away, constantly looking back to see if she's being followed, she's not being followed. She finally slips into an alley, takes off the ring, comes out, and hails down a cab. And she's going to head towards Sylvia and Justine's. Okay, she's going to head there. And when she gets to your guest house, she's just going to. She goes in and asks for you, and the landlady says you are not there. She asks, can she wait? She's a very, very respectable, highborn woman, so the landlady is perfectly happy to leave her in the living room drinking some coffee. And she's going to wait there for a number of hours until you get back. And then, so you do eventually get back, because you are in the dressmakers for quite a number of hours because
Yeah.
there was quite a lot of measurements that had to be taken, both for the dress and for all of your undergarments as well. There was quite a lot of decision that had to be made about the fabric, the lace for your petticoats, the design for your. It's 1872, so we are in it's corsets, not stays for your corset.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure.
Not that Bernadette Barner would ever look at our stream, but if she did, I would want to not offend her, because she's an absolute queen. Yeah.
Okay, we know that much.
But suffice to say, you were there for quite a number of hours. There was a lot of choices to make for lace for your petticoats, for the corsetry design, and then for the dress itself, lacework detailing, and all the rest of. When it is a gown, it's not an elaborate ball gown, but it's still an evening dress that you have said you're wearing to dinner with somebody who's super posh and fancy. Okay, so you were a few hours. Okay, well, maybe we'll say 3.5, 4 hours there. A lot longer than Sylvia was expecting, like so much longer than Sylvia was expecting. But nonetheless, you eventually get back to your guest house to find out out of there.
Aminata, what are you doing here? Are you all right?
I don't know. I went to the Baron's house. I was curious. I'd said I was going. But when I got there, I was not expecting to see what I discovered. The house is being currently emptied. There is a team of laborers packing away all of his belongings, putting them into various wagons to be transported to who knows where. This work was being directed by a quite stunning-looking woman, extremely elegantly dressed, beautiful in porcelain skin.
The mentioned porcelain skin, Sylvia immediately goes, oh.
Oh no, Sylvia, it gets worse. Carrying a parasol made of jet black lace.
Oh no.
Is that maybe a design?
No.
Has she spotted you?
It gets worse again.
Well, you are alive and walking in the daytime, so you are not.
I am convinced the only reason I'm alive is because of her graces. She spotted me in the crowd, spotted that I was looking at her. I felt a pressure on the inside of my skull, which I managed to resist. And then as the laborers and as the men were walking back and forth, I tried to use a moment when there was some between us to slip on my ring. But I don't think I was stealthy enough. And then next thing I saw, silver light flash across her eyes. As she looked, looking directly at me and smiled the most beautiful and terrifying smile I've ever seen. And then I ran, and she let me run.
Well, do you think that you were followed?
No, I do not think so. Honestly, she didn't care.
Okay.
It was so terrifying.
Well, this is good, you know. We don't have to fight another vampire.
I hope. Well, that we know of.
Hope so.
What
Let's
if?
Hope so.
I mean, look, I'm not an expert on the arcane. That would be Justine's forte. But from what little I understand, this true sight spell is from the sphere of twilight, is it not?
It is.
And is that not the same sphere of magic for which there is divinatory scrying spells?
Oh, yeah.
That is correct, is it not, Justine?
That is correct.
So if she can cast that spell from the sphere of twilight, one must assume she can cast other spells from the sphere of twilight, which means perhaps she could scry on me and find my location.
Or verse.
We all, like, that last fight against the Baron, we nearly died. I nearly died. Justine nearly died.
We can't afford to fight another vampire. Let's just hope she will let us live.
Oh, please.
Look, I honestly think that if she had wanted to kill you, she could have. She could see you. She could have used some sort of an offensive spell to trap you, then move across and kill you if she chose. you know, is the fact she let you go. I do think that maybe she could have just been, you know, went to the house, receives the news of the Baron's death, and is clearing it out.
Oh no, that's clearly what's up. She is obviously taking the belongings of his estate.
But she knows that you.
Let's just hope.
Or anything else.
We do not know anything about vampires. I mean, Justine did incredible work researching, and truly your work was spectacular. But
we don't know how many of them out there. We don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming she's one of his brides. But we do not know the connection. Did she know when he died? Was it like some sort of an instinctive bond between them that was now severed?
Could be someone she
turned,
or
so will she seek revenge, or will she be happy that he's dead and now she can take his place as the new powerful ancient vampire of Paris? Is she staying in Paris? Oh mon Dieu. Is she staying in Paris?
I don't think so, because she was clearing out the house. Surely if she was going to move in, she would have just, you know,
you would probably just move into the Barons. No, that's a very good point.
I do think so.
That's a good point, Sylvia. Yes.
Even if she had her own clothes, or her own, furniture, I do think she would have just moved in.
Moved in, of course.
I think we need to do two things. I think we need to keep an eye out on suspicious disappearances and murders, as well as on new interesting character being introduced to Parisian high society.
Let's not forget, the Baron was living in Paris for, I do not know, maybe 6 months. I don't exactly know. There was not stories in the papers of people being found, their bodies drained of blood. He was obviously able to hide his kills.
Yeah, well, honestly, Aminata, is the people of Paris, people reporting on matters, they're not going to report on the deaths of the poor.
No, this is one of the largest cities in Europe, one of the largest populations, and many of those are poor.
They won't notice or care if, some unknown man, woman, or child is killed in an undesirable area because they are not part of the high society. So, of course, they're better for a vampire to live than somewhere like Paris.
Yes. Paris, London, Berlin, that's where I would live if I was a vampire.
I think then we might need to think about leaving Paris for a while at least. Lay low, and maybe hopefully if this woman notices that we're not some vampire hunters and that we're not on her way, maybe she won't deem it worthy to pursue us.
Honestly, yes, we do need, I think we do, but at the same time, Sylvia's brother is coming soon.
My brother is coming soon too.
Oh, that is wonderful.
I haven't had a chance to tell you, yes.
Yes, he's... That's lovely. You're going to see Anne. That's wonderful. I assume, Sylvia, you do not want to take part in the parade, but...
Parade?
Yes, the parade.
What parade?
The Veterans Parade for the 1-year anniversary of the war. That's being organized through this... I mean, they haven't... I mean, everybody knows about it, but they haven't been...
How do people know about it?
Because everybody knows.
Well,
This is France. It was a military campaign. There will be a parade of the 1-year anniversary of the end of the war. There will be a parade, and surviving veterans will march through the city, and there will be speeches from politicians. And
I don't feel I should.
I assumed you would not want to take part in it.
Honestly, I feel something like that is more for the officers to feel good about themselves. It's not for people like me.
Well, I mean, the people do like to cheer on the brave soldiers who survived. I wonder would Annalise be interested in taking part? She was in the war as well, wasn't she?
well, maybe she was an officer, you know, and
The officers, as you say, are the ones who love the attention. So
yeah.
Hmm?
I don't know. I understand why you believe I would. I just don't feel that I would have a place.
no, I'm not suggesting you do it. I was simply, it was a statement of fact that this will be happening. That's all. That's all. But right now, do you think it would be odd if I went to a church and bought a liter of holy water? Would the priest look at me funny?
Does holy water even work against
It
vampires?
didn't really do anything. I mean, I know Annalise dipped her bullets in it. It didn't seem to have any additional effect.
Well, since I'm officially the warrior of Christ, I guess I can bless your water. But the Archbishop is lovely.
Sylvia is she's going to say nothing, but she's going to reach into her bag, she's going to take out her hip flask, and she's going to give it to Aminata. Like, I accept that my whiskey stash is going to be
And Justine is just going to do like a little amen over the whiskey.
Yeah.
Holy water, go on.
Okay. Well, what's our plan tomorrow or this evening? Do we have any plans?
No, not in the evening, really. I was thinking of maybe going to the library around whenever it opens, really. But I don't have any plans for the evening.
But the Lutins are more active at night. Is this correct?
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah, there's those Lutins in the park.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
I think around this point, probably Sylvia gets a message from a messenger pen that just says, investigating fairy dance - Annalise.
There we go. Great minds think alike.
Okay, well,
right.
I may or may not be able to assist with your investigations tonight. I do need to go home and check the house and make sure everything is secure, especially after today.
Of course.
What is it with me and vampires? She was quite beautiful. No. And Aminata goes and says thank you all and leaves and heads back home.
You know, there are terrifying predators that are also quite beautiful. You know, the lion looks like a giant cat, but you shouldn't go and pet it.
I know, Sylvia.
So,
but I'm not the one who's being fancied by some vampires. Shall we go?
Yeah, I think. So, are we going to Annalise, or is Annalise?
I assume you're going to Annalise or something.
Yeah, all right. We'll go to Annalise. So,
yeah, Annalise is probably. She would have sent that message as she was heading out the door. So
okay.
Unless she hears back, she'll probably like head straight there and.
Or La Grosse Chat. I feel like that's our like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Informal meetup later.
Yeah, so I guess sending that Annalise will like obviously it's fairly late at night, so it probably isn't open. But Annalise will go and like get fully strapped up, guns ready, and just hang out outside for maybe 30-ish minutes, seeing if anyone else shows up.
Okay, so then we can say then that Sylvia and Justine bump into Annalise there.
Guten Nachten. I see you decided to join me on my little investigation. You didn't have to. I just wanted to let you know in case, you come a-calling and I'm not home and,
Well, druids are official, they tend to be the emissaries with the Fae, and, it might be... I do remember Moraine saying, they do respect the old ways. I think it might help if I go. And Justine is highly intelligent and far smarter than, no offense, probably you, certainly me.
None
so
taken. You are
And
most
Justine's
likely
probably-
correct. I have no
I
doubt.
just have this like head canon that Annalise and Sylvia are speaking German to each other, and Justine is just there, just like understanding about 60% of the conversation.
no, I feel like they would.
Justine
I
is
feel
smart,
like they
and
would.
Justine's like, hey.
I think, like, yeah, Annalise probably started out with it, but like upon spotting Justine, quickly like switched back to.
I mean, German is not in the list of my languages, but considering
But
Justine's
Dutch is
Not French,
well,
yeah.
Flemish technically is, but and
the same thing.
there, yeah, I know it is so similar to German. Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
easily 60-70% understandability.
Catch the general vibe.
100%.
Yeah, no, you are most likely correct. I have no doubt that Justine is far sharper than I am, which is why I'm glad that you've both decided to come. I don't know how well some fair folk would take to clearly Prussian soldier, ex-soldier, coming and saying hello, other than, my Fey lineage, which I was hoping might give me sort of some point of ingress, but having you two there makes a... well, exactly. I could get unlucky and they're ones that hate Moschleuters and suddenly I'm being murdered. So, it's nice that I appreciate you both coming. Is were any of... I only sent a message to you, so I only have so much ink. Were you able, do you know if anyone else is coming?
Well, Aminata has gone home. I'll quickly bring Annalise up to speed on what happened with the sister wife.
Mein Gott, how many vampires are there in the city? What?
I don't know, and I don't want to know. So I think that she was emptying the house with the intention to leave, and I am hoping that is the end of it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, I will file that information away.
And I feel like Mina needs some rest.
Yeah,
after what happened.
You are correct. And obviously we don't have much understanding of where Gwyn is at the moment, so I suppose it is...
I have still not heard from her. I don't know, maybe we should try and speak with some witches. Maybe they would know. I don't...
They're very insular, though. I don't know if how they've... I mean, I don't know much about kind of witch conclaves or covens or what you call them, but I can't imagine they'd take too kindly to, someone showing up and asking. I suppose if we could really convince them that Gwyn's our friend, it probably would be fine.
If we could,
maybe I could ask. I could. I don't like this suggestion, but I could visit the druids. They might have someone who can
scry or something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I don't personally know anyone with the sphere of Twilight, so that might be... I could try and send a message, because obviously if there's an arcanagram that they can just not be looked at. I could try and send a message. Well, I mean, by this point she's probably further than I could send a message to her. I could try. It's harder to ignore.
I think, well, whatever we can do. Also,
I do possess the Sphere of Twilight. However, I've never learned the scrying spells because we had Gwyn.
Yeah, this makes sense. Everyone plays to their strengths. It's how you build a good unit.
And that would take me a while to learn a new one. I don't know how much time, but
I would
it's definitely
imagine
going to be a while.
Yeah, it would be likely easier to find someone who already knows it. As you say, Sylvia, we could likely try and speak to some local witches and see if there's any hope of some assistance. I don't know what we could offer them, but we might have something.
I do have a small question.
Yeah, of course.
Since I'm going to this dinner, the last time we dined with Moraine, Aminata did a lot of the talking, and it is, I had thought if, there was going to be an invitation back, that, more of us would be invited and not just me. So I don't quite know how to. She is very fancy, and I am not at all. And
Sylvia? Justine is just going to look at Sylvia and be like, Sylvia, I'm sure she knows this by this point. That you're not fancy at all.
I know that she is. Of course she has. I'm sure she has noticed.
And I'm sure that's not what she expects from you.
She's highly intelligent. I don't know why she wants to see me. It would have been better if she had invited you. You are a highly intelligent student of the arcane. If she tries to explain anything to me, it is going to be like trying to explain it to a small child.
Why are you so convinced she's going to talk arcane to you?
Yeah, Sylvia, it sounds like you're trying to.
He is inviting me to dinner with a view to talking about the bag. There's a ring with all of the things in it. So, of course, you're going to be
bring a piece of paper with you, and everything you don't understand, just say it and bring it back to me.
I would also
won't
say.
Understand it either.
You say you are not fancy, and that's one person's fancy is another person's gutter trash. In truth,
I'm not quite gutter trash, but
well, I wasn't saying you were gutter. I was guy. I put my foot into my mouth again. I mean to say, it is entirely possible that the rings that we got from the Baron is sort of not pretense, but an excuse to invite you to a pleasant dinner for some regular conversation.
I don't think so. I called on her with, the rings. She didn't just construct this.
If a woman can teleport you hundreds of kilometers, do you think if she didn't want to see you, she wouldn't have found a way to deliver a message about the rings?
Yeah, and I would also say, I don't mean to say that it is a construction of hers. I more mean that it is a convenient reason to invite you to her. This, in sort of fancy circles, you're often finding excuses to meet up, and you say, "Oh, I have just got this new tea set. Why don't you come over for a nice bit of tea?" And we sit down and have 5 hours of conversation, and we don't talk about.
But I called to her with this magical item, and she asked her if she had any insight, and she said she would need some time to study it, and then invited me back to discuss it over dinner. There's nothing more to it than that. She's just very gracious.
I would. Annalise, it's rare that Annalise cracks like a laugh or a smile. She straight up just starts giggling at that.
Why? I don't think there's anything more going on.
Nine. What Justine said tickled me.
But no, I mean she's an elf. She not exactly.
So she can do whatever the hell she wants to do. She wants to invite you for the dinner for whatever reason that might be.
If she just wanted to explain to you the nature of this arcane ring, do you really? I mean, have you had dinner? I take you've had dinner at her estate before, right? Not on your own, but before.
So has Justine and Nina and Aminata and
I couldn't speak the entire time because I was mute.
As an affair, was it? How many dishes are we talking? Was it complex? Was it 7? How many? Are we talking 3?
It was definitely more than 3.
It was 7.
I think
7 dishes. Okay, so
I couldn't walk for 3 days after.
That is understandable, yeah. Okay, 7 dishes, so she makes an affair. So clearly you should not go into this expecting a quick and easy dinner, at which point...
Well, she is a noble, of course. It
precisely.
Would not be quick.
If she wanted to just tell you about the nature of an arcane ring, why would that have to be a 7-course dinner?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a 7-course dinner. She just said dinner.
Yeah. I kind of look over at Justine and, like, there's a moment of, okay, you hear, like, I just twist her in and go, yeah, no, you're right. This is a lot. Now I know how it, yeah. Sylvia, okay.
Yeah, and Justine's like, that's what I'm leaving with.
So, I understand. Are you confused at why she's inviting singularly you?
I know she's inviting me to discuss the arcane ring, because any other reason would be completely ridiculous. She is hundreds of years old, very powerful. Can transport me hundreds of kilometers like it's nothing.
As you're talking, like, Annalise is slowly looking back over the Justine with a full, like, in the office look, just glazed eyes.
So, like,
I hesitate to say, is it perhaps only the possibility that there's more reason to this? Is that only ridiculous, perhaps, in your eyes?
Well, I am a daughter of a florist from Berlin who fought in the Prussian War. So compared with a beautiful, intelligent, noble elf.
Stop talking about compared, for heaven's sake. I mean, people take interest in people for any kind of reason. You don't have to have...
Exactly. Justine is just going to look at Annalise and be like, that's hopeless. That's like... And she's going to turn to Sylvia and be like, okay, Sylvia, what are you anxious about?
Yeah, if there's anything we can do to help or help you...
so she is a fancy noble. I don't know what to... I don't know the right way to behave, the right things to say.
The worst
the right ways to sit, the right ways to, any of it.
Okay, well, Justine, please.
What if you sit the wrong way? What if you say something wrong? What is the worst thing that can happen?
She might decide to, forcibly turn me into a frog, or transport me into the Fey realm, or she's an elf. She can do whatever she wants.
I don't think she's going to do that, first of all. And second, you're not going to offend her that much. There is no way you can sit unless I don't know.
Unless you sat on her lap or something. Like, if you did that, then maybe she would have a problem. But otherwise...
No,
I'm not saying you would. I am just saying that this is the only way. Like, unless you sat directly on the table in front of her, I sincerely doubt there's any way that you could behave that would be offensive. But I understand your concern, and I appreciate that you want to get it right. That's kind. That's
exactly. Sweet. I felt exactly the same way when we were going to the ball in Madame Gautier's, except I felt better because the rest of you were also there, and could be there to stop me doing anything stupid. But
I suppose that's a part of it, isn't it? The fact that you're going there alone. And that means that, in a sense, you will be in sort of a spotlight, and you might seem uncomfortable with his making a mistake like that. That, you respect the Lady Moraine.
I do, yes.
Yeah, and you don't want to offend her in a way that is damaging to that respect. So I understand.
Exactly, because she is an elf, and she is wonderful to talk to and very, very interesting, but I am very scared of her.
Okay. I will say, it makes sense. She's incredible. I saw some of the feats. She pulled sunlight into a thing that almost killed a vampire. I understand.
Yeah, and then I gave her, because as you know, I gave her a gift. She, as though it was nothing, opened all of it using just waving her hand.
Yeah, no, she's a very powerful person.
She untied a knot.
That's very dexterous.
So if the etiquette and mannerisms are your only concern, that could be easily fixed.
Yeah, I would be happy to. We could put a day aside, and Justine, I'm sure you can find a book or two on the subject, and I could pull through some old familiar knowledge, and we could sit down, and I could instruct you on, usage of cutlery and polite conversation, and how to sit, and how to enter, and how to present yourself. I will just say I don't know how concerned you need to be, because it seems up until this point she's not made any comment about your behavior or personage. But if you are truly concerned and want to use parlance familiar to myself, if you want some ammunition in your pocket, I am happy to help, and we can find somewhere nice and we sit down and have a conversation and practice.
Now you see, this makes sense. I don't think she has invited me graciously for dinner to talk about this magical item. I don't think there's anything more going on, unless she did say that she thought I was interesting, so perhaps she is using that as a reason to talk to me. But I don't think there's anything.
There's nothing to worry about for you, Sylvia.
So I will say
nothing to worry.
It bears thinking about how you feel going into this. Because she might not have any particular reasons. She might simply be for a history buff and want to pick your brain about the war or something like that. We don't know. But you have to have an idea of why you're going there.
Because I was invited.
Okay, yeah, you go because you're invited, but you do not have to go simply because you're invited. Again,
but she's an elf. She's very powerful. Surely have to. Of course, I have to go. She's an elf.
No, there's plenty of respectful ways to not accept an invitation. Obviously, it is nicer to do so. But
no, I would like to go. I would like to see her. She is. I'm sure this sounds ridiculous, but I feel, as someone who also has sibling who is incredibly annoying, who I cannot stand, we have that much in common.
Yeah.
So my brother is useless. Hers is probably, I believe they call them a bunny boiler.
I am not familiar.
That term did not exist in 1872.
Yeah, I know, but I think we all agree. Melisande be crazy, yo.
yeah, big true.
Like, she's fucking crazy.
Okay, well, if you are going there because you are interested in her in sort of not a way of not to imply anything romantic, but if it's more, of a interest one takes in an interesting person, then go in with that knowledge, and that should serve you.
Well,
it is.
I do not. I was married before.
How beautiful!
I am not going to just,
No, I do not mean to suggest.
My wife did die because of me, and I'm not going to say, oh, well, thank you for sacrificing yourself. I am going to go be with these pretty ladies. Bye. Have fun being dead. So
I think I see the long and short of it now. Okay, well, okay. So how for this? We will set aside some time and take some practice, and you go there, you have a delightful time, and whatever comes of the night, comes of the night. It is easier to go in without expectations or concerns.
Well, I expect a dinner, but I also...
Well, expect a dinner then.
Exactly.
I hope to...
Sylvia?
Do you have any allergies?
It's worth going, at least for food. Do you remember how amazing the food was last time?
Yeah, listen, I am not going to turn down the invitation for food like that again. You know, I mean, come on. I spent 6 months living on caught rabbits and the good berry spell.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
It's a spell that allows so you can eat some berries and they fill you for the day. It means that when you're living in the forest, if you can't find anything to eat, you won't starve to death.
Annalise just like recalling days of like shivering in the cold, starving as she like was going through the wilderness. Like, that's nice.
It's very wild. It's awesome.
Cool to know. Cool to know. Okay, well, yeah. So we can, I mean, unless anything especially dangerous happens tonight, we can see about doing that tomorrow or the next day or something like that. If that, do you have an outfit?
I have ordered a dress, so I hope that it arrives in time.
Is that good about that kind of thing here? I don't think you need to be concerned.
It will be blue, and Sylvia's just going to describe the dress.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. You're going for a full gown. Beautiful. Okay.
Well, is that not...
No. Perfect. Yeah.
Sylvia's like, oh, fuck! I got it wrong!
No. You've chosen perfectly. I am impressed. I was thinking I might have something knocking around that I could have offered you, but good that you came prepared. Okay, yeah, well, in that case, do you know when the dinner is?
No, she is to contact me.
Okay. So she invited you to dinner and said, sometime. Okay, right.
Well, she's an elf. I do think there will be a dinner.
No. Yeah, I understand. I believe there will be a dinner. Normally, when you send an invite, you go, on this day at this time. But I suppose elves are whimsical, in a way.
Just gives us more time to teach Silva perfect manners.
Yeah, or potentially less time.
You just see anxiety right
No.
now.
It will be perfect. We have weeks to practice. Let us attend to it soon, so to get it out of the way. Okay. So you have nothing to worry about. I assure you it will be perfect. It'll be lovely. But at the very least, you will come away knowing about a magic item and whatever's inside and have had a nice meal.
Exactly, and that's why I am going.
Yeah. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Got it sorted.
Done and dusted. Shall we go to a park and find out about dancing fairies?
Yes, dancing fairies. Much better topic of conversation.
Yay. Don't we love some fairies, hey?
We love. We sure do. Oh boy.
So, with the party, with our trio heading to the gardens, hoping to deal with some dancing fairies, Sylvia trying not to let herself become completely overwhelmed by the anxiety of a formal social event with a beautiful, powerful elf. I think this is a perfect place to take a very brief pause in our story. Don't go too far. We will be back very soon. Let us go. Hello, folks. We are back. Welcome back to Fayerth. I am still Neil. My pronouns are still he, him, and I am still the creator of this indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. When last we left our heroes, Annalise and Justine were trying to battle the true BPEG of our campaign, Sylvia's anxiety, as they discussed preparing for her going to a very fancy dinner with a very beautiful, very powerful elf to discuss a very strange magical item that they acquired from the body of an ancient spellcasting vampire that they recently slayed. They are now on their way to the Tuileries Gardens, one of the most beautiful places in the city of Paris, because there has been talk recently of the sighting of Lutins, which is what they call fairies in France, appear to have moved into the gardens. That in and of itself would not be a problem. The problem would be the fact that fairies have a thing called the fairy dance. Fairies often at night like to sing and dance and revelry in the moonlight, and if mortals come near them and hear their music, they can become swept away by it they can be dancing for the entire night, can actually become severely injured, and even if they're an elderly human, can actually die from the physical exertion of this night of dancing. So they are going to try to discuss this with these fairies and hope that they can, do something about it. So yes, so the party, as I said, you're heading in the direction of the gardens. It's like, I don't know, maybe what about say 40 minutes to get there from where you are. Okay. And it's a very manicured gardens. Okay, quite lovely, but very manicured. Okay. And there we go. Very like laid out, very pretty, if you will, but nonetheless, quite a lovely place. And you get there. It's getting quite late in the evening now, maybe about 9:30. The sun is coming down, but you're not entirely sure where to go. You can't remember from the newspaper article exactly where in the gardens it was that these Lutins were sighted. And furthermore, you use your words. You're like, that they might move around as well.
Yeah.
So that can be a problem too. But as it stands right now, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
Any music on the wind?
No, you're not hearing anything right now. But it is still quite early in the evening. The sun's only just gone down. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
You're kind of think maybe in another hour or two you might get something.
Yeah, I think it might be worth walking around a bit for a little while and just seeing if anyone kind of jumps up. What do the rest of you think?
Yeah, I think that works. I might try and see if I can find any like footprints or anything from the last dance and see if they might not return to the same place, but it might be a good, especially if they know that the news has been like, fairy dance sighted here. But if we can at least find where they did it before, it might be useful.
Yeah.
I mean, I reckon we probably won't see or hear anything for a little while anyways. So.
Yeah, we need to wait for it to get late for anything to come.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. I'm going to let Anki loose and let him be a fairy dragon. But kind of kindly ask him to report back if he feels any presence of fey kind, basically. Because I assume it's not dangerous to him, right? He's a fey creature.
No, he's impervious to this kind of thing.
But not impervious to the lure of the sky raisins.
No.
Flies.
Yes. So okay, you guys are you're wandering around for a bit, okay? So you're wandering around for a bit. You looking around, see if you spot anything. You're not really seeing anything. Annalise, give me an awareness roll, please.
I assume with keen eyes as well. Natural 1.
I'm in a park.
This is nice. My old garden, I used to do a lot of similar kind of, slightly different but nice designs.
Sylvia, if you want to give me an awareness roll, you can too.
Okay.
Nat 1 away. That's my thing. Oh well.
Yeah, even your inspiration die wouldn't say
It doesn't matter. Even an 8 would get me to a 9. Well, a 10 plus
God.
like, you know.
Okay, well that's a... So I rolled a 12, but I'm pretty sure...
So I'm going to say this counts, Sylvia, I'm going to say this count, even though it's not technically natural, I'm still going to say it's a very large park, so it counts for your primal senses as a druid awareness in natural settings.
I rolled a natural 20.
Let's go.
There you go. Druid bitches, yes. So
ooh, trees.
I forgot I could do that.
Yeah, I knew you forgot. That's why I reminded you.
We've been in a prison setting for fucking ages. Of course I forgot.
Super. Okay, so right. So yeah, with that nat 20, I'm gonna say in the easterly section of the park, okay? So this is where there's like some trees and there's kind of like a large kind of pond as well. But in the grass near the trees, you spot a ring of mushrooms.
Okay.
Okay, the classic fairy circle. Okay.
Cool.
Suggesting this is probably where they were. There's some big enough trees nearby. You know, maybe that is what's where they're living. You know.
Okay, so gonna go over, I guess. Obviously not disturbing the fairy ring, because that's how you get eaten. And yeah, gonna see, does anybody pop out?
Are you saying anything? You doing anything?
Yeah, no, I was gonna go over it first and see does anybody come out, but so I'm going to cast Chaotic Aura, which I think I can do. I got that spell for free ages ago.
Yeah, you got that at a very low level for free.
Yeah, so that's a first level spell.
Yes. For the duration of the spell, you add your magic score to any charm rolls against Fae.
Yeah.
And also, you have Fae Charm, which is a druid ability. Twice per day, you can reroll a charm roll when interacting with a Fae creature and take the higher numbers. So
yeah. Awesome. Sorry, how many times a day? Twice a day? Twice. Cool. Okay, I'm going to cast Chaotic Aura, and I've restricted caster, so nobody is going to see me do anything. And I'm going to just say... hello, my name is Sylvia Bauer. I heard that you had moved into the area. And does anybody come out?
That's it. That's all you're saying?
Oh, so, well, it's very much at the moment. I was kind of hoping to kind of see if they came out first, but if they're not coming out first, I had heard that you moved into the area and that you have been doing your dances. Do you intend to stay long, or, you know, what brings you to Paris, as it is such an urban area with so much iron? Oh no, wait, sorry, French Fae aren't affected by iron.
Industry.
So much. Paris is so full of industry. I had thought that the Fae were not interested in living in such places.
Give me a charm roll.
Oh Lord!
But don't forget, with Chaotic Aura, you have a charm of 1, but you have a magic of 5, so that's a +6 to the roll.
Wow.
Yeah, but I can re-roll. So I would like to I'd like to re-roll.
What did you get the first time?
I rolled a 5, which means that I only got an 11. So I'd rather see if I can roll higher.
Let's see if you do better.
Oh, that's cocked. Oh God, how was that worse? Okay, I rolled a 4.
Wow. So that's 5 plus
Okay, 11.
5, 11.
Woo.
Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, actually,
do.
can I?
Yeah, thump it up.
I'm gonna do that because that's gonna
Yeah.
bring me up to a 16, which isn't shit.
It's not great either.
No, but it's oh god. Listen, I'm not Aminata.
Can I try and support and like pull out like a little pouch of like where I usually just keep some dried rations and just like in Sylvan just go. We've brought you an offering, a little gift from ourselves to yourselves, a little meats and cheeses, and they just kind of lay it out
Wait,
nearby.
what are you offering?
Just a little dried, cured meats, some little piece of cheese, maybe.
Okay, on seeing you do this, Sylvia is gonna take out her hip flask of whiskey that she always fucking has, and is gonna offer some.
Perfect.
Yeah,
because she's got more money now. She's buying
just pouring whiskey.
It's not the really grim gut rot stuff that she used to drink in the army. Like we've got a bit of money now, so she's drink like I'm kind of taking it that like when her hip flask runs out, Sylvia just is buying more, and it's decent whiskey. Like
okay,
funneling it in.
You say so. You take out the hip flask and kind of offer it out. Okay.
I'll take out like one of my little old beaten up tin cups to like pour it into if needs be.
So this is what happens. Okay.
Uh-oh.
You taking out the hip flask and holding it up. So what happens is after you feel a slight give and not holding on, the hip flask, the little flask floats up through the air towards the trees, and you see standing on one of the trees a creature, Lutin, about 25, maybe 27 centimeters tall. Long flowing white beard that reaches past his chest. Man. White curly hair, sparkling blue eyes, wearing an elegant royal blue jacket with gold trim and a rich burgundy embroidered waistcoat. Short black trousers, white socks, shiny black boots. And he has a cane and he's slightly stooped over as he's gesturing with his hand, and the flask comes to you and he takes a sip. He's like, not bad. Not the best I've had, but certainly not the worst. And it was a good thing you gave me that, because honestly, that animal feed that your friend was offering was an insult.
Well, it's better than what I used to drink, but I have learned. So I try to buy better now. Do you have a brand that you like in particular?
To be honest, I prefer sherries.
Sherries? Okay.
I'm a port girl myself.
Well, I guess. You know, there's accounting for taste. I'm
just kind of like the high collar on my jacket. I just kind of lifted a little bit more and put away my rations and kind of just step back and look off.
Back in your box.
So this stooped, aged-looking fey creature is like, so you're asking a lot of questions, but and he kind of he sniffs the air. He's like, of course, druid. Should have known.
What? The discs gave it away? Was it the OM?
It's the smell.
Smell?
Yes.
I don't. So.
Druids always smell like they took a swim in a bog.
I had a bath this morning. I'm sorry.
Justine is trying like really hard not to laugh. She's just like.
Yeah, I'm just like turning my collar a little bit more to hide a smile.
Like Sylvia is like looking at Justine. We're like, you tell me if I smelled like I swam in a bog, right? What the fuck is this? It must be the wild magic, I suppose. So what brings you to Paris?
My kin and I decided on a change of scenery. This
But
park
this
is
is
this
a
park
city so full of humans.
so full of so much delight, so much mischief we can have here.
Oh, this is true. You are in Paris. It's the city of love.
Love and heartbreak, and I'm quite a master at both.
Is he looking like he's trying to hit on Sylvia, or is
This
he
little
just...
guy can get it.
No, he's looking like somebody who's speaking with literally centuries of experience.
Okay, okay. Well, you know, we had heard that you were having a fairy dance, and this is fine, okay, of course, because it is what you do, and you know you dance with your kin and much merriment, but we are just concerned for the humans who live in the area, particularly humans who may be old or infirm and may not be able to physically manage such delights offered by the Fae.
Okay, and?
Well, see, if this becomes a problem, that puts you in danger, my friend.
Danger
There are
from it.
There are a lot of very mighty sorcerers among humankind, and if your mischief gets out of hand, again, as Sylvia said here, that is not a problem. We're very, very, very much supporters of the Fae folk. I'm just concerned because Paris is a big city and it's full of the most powerful sorcerers and magicians that humanity has at the moment. So the worst case scenario, you face a very, very painful death.
So, Justine, are you trying to persuade or intimidate?
Persuade.
Give me a charm roll.
Do you guys know what my charm is?
I'm looking it up now. It's 1.
Hooray!
Woohoo! Go Team Charisma!
Another team. No, that's 20.
14 plus 1, 15.
It's something.
You have your inspiration.
You have your VA.
Boom!
And you have your boon of Fae look.
And your inspiration.
I want to spend my inspiration on the library. Okay, boon of Fae look.
Yeah,
that's 20.
Okay. Well, listen, my dear. There may have been many powerful human sorcerers when I was a young fairy, straight out of a flower bud. But there hasn't been lots of powerful human sorcerers in centuries. You know that as well as I. There are a few, but hardly many. So,
how old are you, my friend?
A lot older than you. He is very old looking. He looks like an elderly man, stooped over, leaning on a cane, long, flowy white beard. And you know enough about the Fae to know when they look that old, they're centuries old. I mean, the thing with the Fae is, but the thing with the Fae is different Fae races have different life expectancies. Yeah. So fairies, it's usually like somewhere between 300 to maybe 400 years. Dwarves is like 5, maybe 600. Giants can be 400 to 700 depending on the giant type. Elves, it's 1,000 plus. You get me? So you're thinking this guy. I'm not even going to make you roll intellect because even though you don't have Fae lore, you have enough of just your general knowledge. You reckon he's probably somewhere between 250 to 350 years old. Probably.
Well, we just fought and defeated a 500-year-old vampire.
Oh. So you think that... So you're saying that if we don't behave ourselves, you're going to fight us.
I knew that was going to be...
I don't think anybody wants to actually fight. We are just saying that, mischief is all fine, but we do want people to be safe. That is all.
And Fae to be safe as well.
Everyone to be safe.
Well, I'm not worried for myself and my kin.
I know. I am not worried for your kin either. I'm worried for the humans. And as a druid, I, feel that I should speak for them.
Who does not love a good dance?
I will posit that, and kind of like turns. The media have already noticed that you're here. If you find us annoying, imagine 50 more humans who are here at all hours of the day trying to find you. I don't mean, not to speak of any risk to yourself, but if it's about aggravation and insult, you see, I myself am of sort of Fey lineage, and even I have insulted you this evening. Imagine what several dozen regular humans might manage to impose upon you. It would surely be simpler to be a little, further out where you can enjoy frivolity in a way that is undisturbed.
Give me a charm roll.
Okay. Can I add oration to this?
Yes, you can. Sure.
Excellent. That is a dirty 20. I'm going to spend my D8 on it as well.
Okay. Right.
Nice.
Okay.
That is a 28 total.
Okay.
You rolled an 8.
Rolled
Awesome. Oh, go Annalise.
Now, this young lady here is finally speaking some sense and understands what the elderly appreciate. I suppose, what if we came to a compromise?
I'm more than open to a discussion on such.
So, obviously, life can be boring. Who doesn't like a lovely surprise? So we won't be stopping that. But, specifically with relation to our dances, what if we promise that if we see somebody walking through these... What do you call this? It's not a woods. It's not a meadow. What do you call this thing?
It's a park.
A park.
Yeah, it's sort of a humankind approximation of the wilderness in a small contained area.
But still,
this is not wild at all.
No, precisely.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's still exerting control.
Wait, what?
Very much so.
What's the actual name of this place?
What was it again?
It's been mentioned. Fuck.
It was like Lutien Park or something, wasn't it?
No.
It was beginning with L.
No, it wasn't.
No, the Lutins were the people.
Belina! It's our smart person.
These are a bunch of savages.
I don't have it.
We're a bunch of lieges.
Yeah.
It's only like a park that's existed since I think the maybe 16th century in Paris. You bunch of savages.
I sincerely apologize to the nation of France.
It's the Jardin de Tuileries, the Tuileries Gardens.
Oh, okay.
So, a garden. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so anyway, here will be the compromise. If we are dancing and enjoying some merriment and frivolity, and some mortals pass by, and we can see that they are perhaps somebody who would be more fragile, that they are older, that they are possibly infirmed, then we will be sure to stop our music. If they are young and robust and virile, they can join us in our dance for the evening. I think that's a wonderful compromise, yes?
Just make sure that even young and robust, if it gets too much for them, please let them go.
What's wrong with the young folk today? When I was a young budding fairy, I could dance for days.
Yeah,
you humans, you're so fragile.
Yeah, we are more fragile than you, it's true.
Yes, you are more fragile. Okay, so anyway, I think we have an agreement. Wait.
Only within their abilities, okay? And if they look as though they are about to become injured, you will let them go.
We'll make sure we don't harm anybody through a fairy dance.
And we'll bring you a bottle of a lovely, lovely sherry.
That would be lovely. So If we're in agreement, I think we should celebrate. Wait.
To acknowledge you will not harm them through your fairy dance.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh
Indeed.
God, what
Okay.
fresh hell!
Yeah, no,
As he
I'm
says, I
just putting
think,
a little note on.
He says, "I think you shall celebrate," and you suddenly hear some whistles and some violins and some flutes begin as lights appear in the trees around you as 1, 2, 3 numerous Lutins start to appear and start to play their dance. I need all 3 of you to give me resolve, willpower, or arcane resistance rolls.
I have arcane resistance.
I rolled 19. I have resolve of 2. I have arcane resistance of 1 and willpower of 1.
You can only use 1 talent at a time, remember?
Arcane resistance, sure. So that's like 22.
Excellent. Okay. Annalise.
I should have saved my D8.
Oh,
I got
no.
a 9 on the die plus my 1 in arcane resistance means a 10 total.
Sylvia.
Well, I rolled a 12.
Oh. You have a resolve of 5, don't you? Sorry, I don't know. Where is your? I'm sorry. I'm trying to find your character sheet in my mountain of tabs.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah. No,
So you have
18.
18.
Did I use my Fae? Boom. Oh no, I did.
Don't I have one of those amulets as well?
Oh,
15
no,
that's
bad for your
that's a defense thing. The Fae boon is different. Yeah, so
I used that already, didn't I?
Annalise has the inspiration die, which you used already.
Yes.
So unfortunately, Justine, you managed to the target number was 19.
I just tested my D8 and I would have got a 7.
So Justine, you shake it off, but you see Sylvia and Annalise beginning to be drawn in towards the dance.
Great.
Okay,
I'm going to cast a fucking greater blink on both of them and blink them the fuck out.
Okay, you blinked them out. Okay, right, you blinked them out. They're pulled back. They disappear and they're pulled back 10 meters away. And I'm going to allow you both roll again with an advantage of +5 because you've been pulled so far away. Okay. Good job, Justine.
Very good thinking. Natural 20!
Hey.
Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a 22.
Okay, so being pulled away, further away, you're
sorry,
saved.
with the +5, it's 27.
So you're saved. The elderly Lutin, who is dancing, pauses and he glowers at you. You see, he says, "My dear, how could someone so young and beautiful be so dour?" And he disappears.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
So that could have gone so many ways, folks.
Yeah,
that really could have gone so many ways. All right,
we're gonna get them the best sherry that we fucking can. It's
so
gonna
good.
be. We're gonna go into the super posh area where, like, it's gonna be Sylvia's there in her like regular gear, and she's like, "I need the fucking nicest bottle of sherry you've got," and they're just gonna be like, "What is?" It's gonna be the whole thing with the fucking perfume again, and I'll just be like, "It's for fucking fairies. Leave me alone."
Yeah, it's like they take one look at you and say, "Oh, you're a maid, yes."
You know who might have really good
I need it for some fucking fairies. I'm a druid. Will you get off my back?
So, right. So you head off. Okay.
Oh, Justine. That was. I felt myself. Moving without my accord. You are a lifesaver.
This never happened to you, Annalise?
In what? What you?
You've never been. You've fought in the Fae War, and you've never been caught in a fairy dance.
Oh, of course, it has happened a few times. I was lucky enough that my my regiment. It might be obvious I am not a person of most composition, so I fall.
Oh, see, what used to happen to us?
Annalise, roll deception, please. Charm roll with deception.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Can I add oration again?
No, this is deception.
My rolls tonight are bad. That's a 2 on the die. Plus 2 equals 4.
So,
Okay.
Sylvia, I'm not even going to make you roll awareness. You know what Annalise is saying right now. They are talking complete shit.
Okay, Sylvia is going to completely let that slide.
Yep.
But she's going to file it away as information. But she's going to turn around, making it seem as though it's very much for Justine's benefit. And she's going to explain, like, to Justine, because, of course, Annalise would understand exactly what she's talking about. You see, Justine, what used to happen is, you know, the soldiers would get caught in a fairy dance. The Lutins would come out dancing. The fairies would then do their music. The soldiers would begin to dance, would often drop their guns, and either dwarves would cast the Thorns of Glass spell, or, you know, the Storm of Boulders, and we would be crushed or impaled, and it was all very unpleasant. But these were the tactics that happened in... I have been caught in fairy dances before.
It would destabilize entire formations. You know, it's all well and good having the oiled machines the Prussian military was, but the moment a group of fae show up and rattle the chains on it, suddenly all falls to pieces. As I say, I myself have a low resistance to mind alteration like that, so it was bad.
Oh, yeah. I saw many...
even the strongest among,
sometimes giants would then appear and eat you, you know. It was never... It was always, you know, a tactic to disable large groups, and this is what would happen. But, you know, that was... Yeah, so...
Justine is horrified. She's like, that's terrible. That's really terrible. Like, honestly.
You know, in comparison, I suppose what they were doing here is maybe not quite as bad.
I'm sorry. I will just say, Justine, this is actually giving you an insight into, because Jan, like, he was away for a while, and he was involved in this, you know. You and him never really talked about it, you know.
No, because we never talked, like, after the war, really. Like, he disappeared, and then
but this is like, you've heard Sylvia giving brief accounts of what happened on the final day, and offhand comments of, like, trolls ripping limbs off and the likes, but to hear this
in the like deadpan, this was terrible.
But to hear this like really detailed and macabre description of the kind of tactics that the Fae would use, that they could enthrall the minds of soldiers, making them helpless so they could take them out easily, you're beginning to get an insight into just what Jan would have seen and faced.
Oh, not just now. I would say that has always been the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, because certainly when we met Mina's brother first.
Yeah. Oh,
so but this is like I mean, it's like you're being building more and more of a picture. Of what.
Time we're talking about this.
And understanding a little bit more about why Sylvia is the way she is.
Oh, definitely. Oh, like, I don't think I've ever had, like, doubts about that.
Yeah.
As in, like, I've never thought anything about anyone. It's literally, it was horrible.
Yeah. So, right. It's late enough. It's probably about, like, 10:30, maybe 11:15 at night. There's still cabs in the streets, so you're all able to get home fairly easily and get a long night's rest if you so wish.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it.
Have a look at.
Super.
There's no moonlit script appearing in front of my face, right?
No.
Oh man, I'm like, I hope my dress is ready on time.
When did we say the dress was going to take how many days?
3 or 4.
3.
I think it was 3. So
yeah.
So we're going to say Friday, okay? It's Tuesday now. We're going to say Friday morning. It will be, or Friday at noon. It will be ready for collection. Okay. So, you have your long night's rest. But before that, you can discuss what are your plans for tomorrow.
Justine's going to the library.
Justine is going to the library.
Sylvia is going to get the fanciest fucking bottle of sherry possible.
I kind of feel like Annalise will be going with you on that trip.
Yeah,
Justine is going to like chip in. Although Justine would probably like to accompany us just in case.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Annalise will probably go purely because like she knows what like the good stuff is and what the good stuff is that they charge you more for.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Well,
so she'll help direct with that.
Yeah, because Sylvia's just going to go in and say, give me the fanciest fucking
Although you're going
during
the day, right? So
yes, it is, yeah.
Then Justine is just going to chip in money-wise and she'll be like, you'll be grand.
Sure.
So you give like a couple of gold towards it,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. But I want to get, it has to be like the best sherry ever. Like,
you can do some samplings.
Yeah, so yeah, hold on, let me just.
It's going to be in this super fancy arrondissement, and I'm just going to be like, give me booze! Give me booze! And they're going to be looking at me going, what the fuck?
Huh? What?
Who is this shabby looking maid?
What street did you walk in from?
Yeah, basically. Well, apparently I smell like I've bathed in a
bog.
You don't. I'm sure that was like our going before bedroom conversation. Justine just being like, I swear you don't smell like a bog. I promise you. I've been living with you for like past months. You do not smell like a bog.
Back to the perfume shop.
I'm like, literally. I mean, I realize that me, Susie, I'm in like my bog witch era, but like... Sylvia's not.
Yeah, I'm sure Sylvia was like, her anxiety, she would be like, I smell like a bog.
Do I smell? But also, like, I feel like as my friend Justine would tell Sylvia if she smelled like a bog.
Justine would tell, yeah. Justine would tell. But then Justine is also like, what if I'm so used to it that I don't realize maybe I smell like a bog too?
Every time we walk past people on the street, they're like, huh.
It's like, you know, I did live in a forest for like months. So, anyway, yeah.
Okay, so, damn it. That's not useful. So yeah, you guys are going to head to your to buy a nice sherry. Oh, we're being raided. Hey guys. Hey. Great to have you on. We are going to buy some alcohol. Super. So yeah, so you guys are going to go and you go to one of the fancier places to one of the really fancy spots where people go to get the really fine wines, the really fine champagnes, the really fine sherry, you know, all that stuff. You look for a very nice posh looking place going in, and there's a guy there, thin kind of curling pencil mustache, and he just gives you both an up and down, and he raises an eyebrow. Bonjour.
Bonjour. We are looking for some sherry, and it needs to be very nice sherry. But Sylvia's looking at Annalise with speak fancy, get the good shit.
Guten Morgen, my friend.
So speak fancy.
As soon as you speak in German, he visibly scowls.
That's fine. Guten Morgen, my friend. As my friend says, we're here looking for some fineries. We have an important dinner this evening, and we're led to believe the host has a particular taste for sherries. We've been told that your establishment is a place of fine goods and have been recommended to visit and take a look at what you have. What do you carry at the moment?
Well, of course, mine is the finest establishment in all of Paris.
Naturally, yeah. I've, when we were asking around, this was the first place they directed us to.
Of course it did. I must warn you, though. My wines, my spirits, everything here would be. It would be more than the common purse could afford.
Okay, this is fine. I assume that is only because it is high quality.
It is the highest of quality.
Well, then that is not an issue. I would hate a
They're not looking
situation
for
where I was only paying for the name and not quality, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, please, we're not here for common swill, I mean.
Yes, I suppose there is those within the bourgeois who think that the name is what makes something noble.
Precisely. I mean, these people, they're not even looked into the histories of the estates and the growers. I mean, the process, they barely understand this. They drink it as though it's water and don't appreciate the history behind the beverage.
Give me a charm roll.
Can I add oration again?
No.
Damn it.
Oh, no.
I take points in persuasion. Oh, come on. What is with my dice today? 8 total.
Oh, God,
Sylvia, do you want to do anything to assist this?
Yeah.
Actually, wait, just give me 1 second. I just want to look at your book of shadows. I don't know if
shadows.
you do.
I can cast Lesser Bless.
I was just gonna say you can cast Lesser Bless.
Yep, and I can do it like discreetly without.
Yeah, you do that discreetly. That gives you Annalise a +5 to that roll.
Okay, so that.
What does that bring it up to?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 13.
Okay, not great, not terrible, not enough to persuade, but enough that he's, it's not terrible. Okay, well, all right. So you're looking for.
I do have a +3 in etiquette, if that helps.
Oh, that would definitely add. Yes, absolutely. So that brings it up to 16 now.
Yes, 16.
Okay, that's not as high as you'd like, but that's still a lot better. Yeah, etiquette 100% would come into this. Yes. Okay. Well, then. Okay. So, may I ask the age of the host?
Oh, well, you understand. It can be very difficult to tell the age when, they are different to us.
Sorry? What do you mean different to you?
Well, okay, I suppose the cat may be out of the bag. I am a druid.
Oh.
And this is intended.
You are a druid? You do not look like a druid. You're not wearing the robes. You don't have the big stick.
Well, I carry
my... understand, with drinks, bottles do not represent the contents.
Well, as you can see, I do carry my spells, but I am not.
No, I do not say I'm not a.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not a witch.
Sylvia is going to just show him the little wooden discs.
He has no idea what you're showing him here. This is a pretentious asshole who sells wine to rich people.
So, this is how I have decided to carve my spells, because I was not inducted into the Order of Druids, but we do need to give a bottle of sherry to some Lutien, and it needs to be nice.
Mon Dieu.
So,
of course, you would be a purveyor of goods.
You were recommended to us, and I'm hoping that this will be acceptable to the Lutien. They appear to be old. You understand the way it is with the Fae. If they appear old, they are very, very old.
So to answer your question, centuries.
Probably centuries, but I could not say how many, because it is impolite to ask someone's age. Suffice to say, it is older than any of us combined.
Mon Dieu.
A challenge, perhaps?
Well, this is different. I've never sold my wonders to a fae before. No.
Imagines the.
And now he's hooked.
Hmm.
Now he's hooked. Okay, and he says,
Why? Why do I have to keep dropping the fucking druid card? Jesus.
because you're the chosen one who was trained by a fae creature of the forest.
Oh,
okay.
fuck off with your chosen one shite.
So he's at. I will be back in one moment. I must go into the back.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so he goes into the back, and he comes back in a minute, and he's carrying 2 bottles.
Okay.
Both have a layer of dust on them.
Okay. No, this is.
So,
this is okay. I don't
So
mind.
both of
this
you, but
sounds
especially
amazing.
you, Annalise, you know what that means.
Mm.
Okay. Now,
I kind of give it an appreciative nod as I see. The
yeah, you see there's a layer of not dirt, dust.
Mm.
An important distinction here.
Very true.
Layer of dust on both of them. Okay. Okay. These are 2 of my finest sherries.
Okay.
They're from two excellent vineyards. One was actually a vineyard that Emperor Bonaparte seized during his reign.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes, way. And
Okay.
yes, he became part of his private collection. But funnily enough, the other one I think is a better. It's from an older family.
Right.
These are 2 of the finest bottles you would find anywhere in Paris.
Okay.
I would imagine perhaps the association with a human of such military knowledge.
Well, see, this is the thing: is he, having said that, the other one was the one that he was saying he actually thinks is the better one.
Yeah, that's why I'm agreeing with him.
Yeah, and it's like so.
I think the connotations with the first I agree, and at least it might be a little bit negative. Perhaps you are right. The second one.
Unfortunately, as I say, it is one of the finest, rarest bottles you'll find in the city. Okay. So it will be at a considerable price.
Okay.
But I must mention, if we are not to buy this, then you will not have sold something.
Honestly, I was hoping to sell it to the Emperor, but he got killed in that cursed war.
Oh, the war. Awful. Ruined so many opportunities, didn't it?
So many opportunities for business.
Just like her, you can see a kind of she's like really trying to stop herself from glaring at you, but you do see it kind of just briefly.
She feels it.
So, as I said,
just
this
delicately wave a hand in a simmer down motion.
This bottle I could not sell for less than 15 gold. Which is a crazy amount of money.
That's what I paid for the fucking perfume.
Well, I mean, they're to put it into context, if you were to buy,
but there's perfume out there that goes for 20,000.
Exactly,
because I researched this shit. I know
there are bottles of whiskey that sell for 10,000 euros each. So this is
we are looking
so
at that.
If you think that's stupid, no, in our real world, there is context.
It's not, because you've got people who buy wedding dresses for that. Look at any of the Met Gala outfits.
Well, I'm just saying, literally, spirits. There are bottles of whiskey that you can buy for 10 and 20,000 euros.
But
we're not even talking about. We're not even talking about designer clothes. Actual a similar item in the world. So anyway. As I said, so look
between 3 of us, that's actually fine.
Well, Sylvia,
but you want to put up a fight.
Sylvia, you alone have 189 gold.
I know.
I mean, yeah. So it's not a problem,
Okay. Sylvia's just gonna slap the gold down on the table, and you can pay me back later or whatever. But Sylvia's just gonna slap it down on the table.
Okay, I'm gonna deduct that from your character sheet now. Okay.
It's just gonna be very much. Fine, whatever. Because
okay, Mademoiselle, would you like me to wrap it?
Oh, yes. I think. I think the pageantry might be appropriate. Yeah, okay. Some wrapping.
Absolutely. So he goes and he comes back a minute later and he has it wrapped in a really, really nice fancy looking paper.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. And his whole demeanor has changed because you just dropped 50 in gold.
Yeah,
you know, like that's like to put in the context, that's probably what it like. It would probably take him 2-3 months to make that. You know.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay.
I love how Sylvie has just been going to super fancy places and just been like, yeah, okay, how much is it? Grand.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Just walking.
Yeah, even Annalise sees you like just slap the money down, and she's like, "No, there's a process. No, stop. What have you done?"
So, Justine, you go to the National Library. Now, what section are you going into?
That's a very good question. Probably history.
Okay. And is there any particular areas of history that you were looking to explore?
Let me think. I don't know. Like Roman history, perhaps. Sounds like a good period. Very interesting. Loads of interesting characters, swords, stuff like that.
If you want.
I do want.
Okay.
I do want. So first of all, because I rolled quite well back then, and I did identify a sword, right?
You did. His sword was definitely, well, it's clearly a magical artifact because it appears to be made of some piece of bone or talon or claw. It's not made of metal, but it is in the shape of an ancient Roman gladius, without question.
How ancient?
All gladius were ancient, you know, like it was a specific type of sword that was only used during the Roman period. Gotcha. Like the gladius is not a sword that was then continued to be used after the fall of Rome. It was exclusively used by Roman soldiers. And the ancient Roman Empire fell in the 5th century, I believe. So yeah. So it is at a minimum approximately, what was that, 1400 years old ish. Okay. Unless that is assuming it was made at that time. It could have been made like a year ago and just happened to be made in the style of a gladius. You don't know. But the gladius as a sword type fell out of use with the fall of the Roman Empire.
Like Justine is not trying to get to the bottom of anything in particular. She just perceives Tito as a
what, a 2,000-year-old Roman soldier? Like,
let's start with just going through the names of like Roman generals, because he used the term phalanx. Or I'm not sure how, I don't remember how it is in English.
Yes, phalanx.
Yeah. I don't remember how it is in English, sorry.
So it was a technique specifically developed by
I know it is.
Just because Paulina doesn't, so you know what it is anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry. You said you didn't know it in
English, that's all.
Yeah, I just didn't know the pronunciation in English, that's it.
Yeah,
but I know what it is. So he clearly knows stuff, a thing or two about the whole
classical military formations.
Yeah, and he doesn't come across as someone who is like actively trying to like reenact some sort of like a Roman soldier or something.
No, certainly not. He's a humble man of the road.
Exactly, he's a humble man of the road who uses very humble words that are out of use for a couple of centuries. So Justine knows Latin.
Yes, she does.
So her guess would be that...
Sorry to interrupt, Justine. Just to clarify here, you know modern Latin. And by modern, I mean you would not necessarily understand the ancient Latin that was spoken at the time of Rome. What you know is closer to medieval church Latin. Does that make sense? because Latin, like every language, changed over time. So the Latin of ancient Rome was not the Latin of, say, the middle-aged Christian church. Now, the language it's kind of in this weird state right now where it's only used by scholars and people don't use it to speak and communicate. So, and new words haven't been added. So it's technically dead, but still widely studied and known.
No, I know. And I think there's actually not that much difference between like Church Latin and Roman Latin, because I've done Latin in college and we've done both, and like it's doable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you know, like the same story, like if you know Dutch, you'd probably understand a bit of German.
Oh yeah, like I'd say like it'd be far closer than say modern Irish and ancient Irish.
Yeah. Modern Irish and ancient Irish are...
Perhaps, Neil, would it be like Middle English and modern English?
Yeah, probably.
Because you can read Middle English. You have to read it out loud, but like you can read it.
Yeah. So
Justine is just going to quickly go through like names of Roman generals, and knowing Latin, she assumes that Tito is probably Titus.
Possibly. That would be a very logical assumption to make, that it's an abbreviation of Titus or Titus.
Yeah, or some sort of like other Roman name.
And Titus would have been a common enough masculine name in ancient Rome.
Well, there was an emperor called Titus, so yeah. We'll go from there and see what we can find.
Okay, so give me this is going to be intellect, obviously. Can
I add research?
I was going to say you can add research.
Not great. 16 altogether.
Is that with your inspiration dice?
No, I'm not using inspiration dice just yet.
Okay, so first of all, you do see a couple of other Tituses appearing on different generals' names. So there was an Emperor Titus, but it appears to be a name that appeared a couple more times. Wasn't necessarily super common. It wasn't like John, but it wasn't a singularly unique name. Okay, you do come across a description of the Emperor Titus, including a physical description of, and it's nothing at all like the Tito that you know. So just does not in any way sound like his description at all. Okay. So that's what you get with that roll. Okay.
Okay. So there's not much really. Let's try the heavy stuff. Let's try to dig something on that gladius, and I'm going to use all I have here.
Okay.
I believe in you, Justine.
So what categories are you now looking in? Because there's not going to be a swords category, No,
of course not.
What books are you looking in to try and learn more about this clearly magical gladius?
Yeah, probably something related to like magic.
Okay.
In ancient Rome, like magical practices, because Fae has always existed and magic always existed.
Okay.
Mythology possibly as well.
Okay.
Old Roman mythology, old Greek mythology.
Okay.
And section about enchanted weapons specifically, because obviously there is not going to be a category about swords, but there might be some historical / folklore / urban legend stuff that might mention something like that.
Okay. Give me a roll.
I'm trying to remember shit from my undergrad right now. You don't even know how hard I'm fucking trying.
Connecting
dots. That's my
how
name.
obscure can I go?
I actually rolled fairly alright, but not great. Okay. So I rolled 17 plus 7 on my inspiration die.
That's 24.
So that's 24 plus 5 of my intellect. That's 29.
29.
Plus research is at 30. And I'm going to throw in the boon of Fey luck because it's the new day.
Okay.
Right. Oh my god, you rolled a 35?
Loading it up.
All right. So
what I'm going to use everything.
What I'm going to hold on. Just give me one moment here, please.
The curator comes and goes. The head librarian comes and goes. Here's the key. This is yours now. I've been waiting for someone to appreciate knowledge.
I feel like I need to I can't remember what college books I got rid of, so I need to go over to my bookshelf right now and see what's there and start reading.
So you're looking through various different books, okay? And you find there's actually not that many books specifically talking about ancient magical weapons from classical era. But you do come across some books in general talking about magical weapons, with most of them talking about magical weapons from lore and legend and mythology, because magical weapons are almost a mythological thing. You might still find artificers making simple enchanted daggers, but great powerful magical swords. Even Mina's halberd is quite exceptional, but that was made from merging an enchanted spear that was taken from a Feyman.
By an exceptional artificer, let's remember.
So you do, with that 35, 36 roll.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say you find one entry, okay, that talks of a hero. Okay. It gives an account of a hero from the 9th century. All right. Who AD, 9th century AD. All right. Who, just give me a second here. Who was involved in a battle against who was involved in a battle against a dragon. Okay, a powerful dragon whose breath was a terribly poisonous breath. Okay, and he used an enchanted sword that appeared to be made of it was a strange ancient design and shape, and it was the battle took place in kind of the mountains in the southeast of the country. Okay, and he had this enchanted sword that appeared to be made from the fang of a dragon, and he defeated this other dragon using this enchanted sword that was apparently able to absorb its poisonous breath, allowing him to close on the creature and fight it and kill it. And in the story of the story says it doesn't give a name for the hero. It simply refers to him as the lone centurion. And that is a perfect place to pause in our story.
Oh my god.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You bastard.
Just a man of the road.
So Emma, I don't know if you saw in the chat, Neil. Emma said apparently it's a Gladiator 2 trailer just dropped. She's is picturing
Tito as Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. I mean, you know,
he is described as about 170 centimeters tall, curly brown hair.
I don't think Pedro Pascal is particularly tall.
He's very tight, curly brown hair, tan Mediterranean skin, a kind of a lithe, athletic build with deep, dark, soulful brown eyes.
You are not wrong, my love.
So,
you are not wrong.
So Pedro Pascal is 180 centimeters. He's not far off.
So yes. So thank you so much. This guy Tito is shorter.
Okay. Well, you know.
But maybe
anyway,
you will live.
Thank you for joining us tonight for a wonderful story. And we look forward to next week when we are having our special musical episode inspired by the wonderful classic movie My Fair Lady, as Sylvia prepares for her banquet with the beautiful lady.
I'm just gonna say, I can sing. I don't mind improvising shit. It's just it's purely that. Aside from Buffy Once More with Feeling, every single musical episode of anything I've ever seen has been absolutely fucking
well, all I can say is
look forward to next one.
I can't sing. It won't stop me. Okay? So thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. So good night all. Bye.
Oh, man.